sure everyone's looking fan.
All right, you're in a practice session. Attendees cannot join until you start the webinar.
Okay, it says 6 o'clock on the atomic clock in Boulder. So we're gonna go. This is the new look for the year. Headset, microphone, and a little box. So hello everyone and welcome. My name is Kevin and we have a full evening ahead of us. So I hope you're all able to hear me. There is a chat window here. We're going to do questions mostly at the end. And there's one in here that I'll tackle here in just a moment. But by and large, we're just going to write down questions and then hit those at the end rather than move through the flow with interruptions from questions. So hi, I hope you're all okay. I haven't seen a lot of you in a long time. My colleagues Michael and Kendall are on here. We will be meeting them officially here in a few moments. But I have an agenda here to make sure I'm getting through it all correctly, and we're going to go from there. So, okay, let me just see. Okay, so what a year. Ay caramba, it's been quite a year, and I hope you're all doing well with healthy lungs and mildly sane. I am both, so I hope you all are as well. So, welcome to Setting the Course and a little bit about how this all came down. Hey, there I am. So as you may know, those of you who do know me, I've been doing this since 2005, and I've been working with lots of different entities, and just basically anyone who wanted me could have me for this tour or that tour, and it was a-okay. Of late, I've been doing lots of tours with History Colorado, at least for 2021. History Colorado, as I understand it, is doing a diminished program. I'm not 100% certain what History Colorado will be doing next year, as I am not partnering with History Colorado. Because of the change in things, I decided to fly solo, do my own little sailing ship around the world. So what that means is Treasure Box Tours is all the same tours that I used to do before for someone else, except now I'm just doing them myself. So it'll be, for those of you who've traveled with me before, it will be pretty much the same in every capacity, except the umbrella over my head. So that's what Treasure Box Tours is. We are hoping to make our way through the interim between now and when we start giving tours by selling the boxes and our date nights and such. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. That comes up in a little while. So that's our bread and butter between now and then come March, we're going to move into regular tours, and then coming May, we'll move into larger tours. So that's what Treasure Box Tours is doing. This evening is about announcing what's coming up for next year. Thank you all for joining. There is just the one question here that I wanted to tackle. Competing with or replacing the tours and treks previously offered through History Colorado. I suppose you would say competing, basically just doing the same things I was before, just under my own heading. I don't know what they will end up doing, but I am not partnering with History Colorado, so I hope they will be returning to their regularly scheduled program very soon. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep going. So there's the answer to that. And our other questions we will sort of tackle as we go. All right, so thank you for joining. There I am in Dubuque, Iowa. And let me introduce you to the rest of the folks. Okay, so Michael Vincent, my colleague, you see him there. I was in Dubuque, Iowa. Michael is in a much more stylish and chic place. There he is in Chamonix in France. So yeah, I guess I'd rather have Chamonix over Dubuque, although I did enjoy Dubuque. So there's Michael. Michael is helping me with lots of things like numbers and banking and all those things that I don't know how to do. If it involves a number, I cannot do it. And then my other colleague who definitely is necessary, numbers are terrible, but the next part is even worse. and that's Kendall Kostelik. She's the influencer. She knows all the social media stuff, which I don't, since I don't even have a Facebook account. And she's been translating all of this into posts and blogs and Instagrams and all these things. So a world I don't know. So between us, we've got a lot going on, and we have 2.5 brains, and that's pretty good. So those are the folks that are at this helm currently of our ship, Treasure Box Tours. And we're going to divide and conquer tonight based on what's going on for our setting the course. So at this point, we're moving into the boring stuff that you still have to have. And that's going
Yes.
to be the background legalese. So I turn that over to Michael for the things you have to have because we live in the United States. All right, here we go.
Thanks, Kevin. So yes, you do have to have some things, especially when it comes to booking our tours and into 2021. We all know we've been dealing with the pandemic, and so there is a different way to book for these tours than you might be used to through other tour companies. So I just want to go over some of that information with you, and then I'll turn it back over to Kevin for the fun of going over each tour that we're offering next year. So first off, to register for a tour, there is only one way to register, and that is through our website. So you'll go to treasureboxtours.com, and you could go to the main page, or you can go to our group tours page. And on the group tours page, you're going to find all of our tours. Day tour is going to require payment in full when you sign up for that tour on the website. You're going to add that to your cart, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on that so that I can kind of walk you through what does it look like reserving a tour online. So this is our main page here on the home page. Again, you're going to go to that group tours page that we have, and under here is a listing. It's a very long list. As those populate, we have 30 tours that we're offering next year. You're going to see those all listed under here. You can select a category. Kevin will be going over those soon about each tour to kind of filter through to find the tour that you're looking for. And then again, for a day tour, let's just pick our first one here, Broadway Basics on a day tour. When you go to sign up, you're going to click on the tour itself. You're going to see the price for the tour. You're going to enter the quantity, the number of tickets that you want, and then you're going to click Book Now. When you click Book Now, it's going to give you a form that you need to fill out that gives us a little more information about you touring with us. You'll fill that out, you'll click Book Now, and then it will take you to your cart. You're going to see that this button changes to Added. If you scroll to the top of your page, you'll find the cart icon, and when you click on the cart, you'll find the tour that you are signing up for. Now, again, any day tours are going to require a full payment when you are signing up for the tour. We do have overnight tours, and I just want to show you what that's going to look like because that does appear a little bit differently on our website. So let me pull up a overnight, looking at Montana and Idaho. So this, when you see it, it's going to say from 500, and boy, we do wish that tour was just $500, but for an overnight tour, a deposit is required when you sign up, and that's a 10% of the tour cost of the tour. So, sorry, I've got a cat on me. Gotta love our pets and animals. So for an overnight tour for Montana, that's $5,000 per reservation. So you're going to be paying $500 deposit per ticket for that reservation. It's broken out by occupancy. All tours are based on double occupancy. You can have a room to yourself. You would choose the single occupancy. And then you have the option to pay in full for the overnight tour or to just pay that deposit. If you're selecting the deposit, double occupancy, you'll see the price will change up at the top. That's what you're going to pay. And then you follow the same process of booking now. That form is going to pop up, and then you'll add that to your cart. So you may add any of those tours, any and all 30 if you'd like, to your cart, and then you'll pay for that at checkout. You'll receive a confirmation from us, and then we'll follow up with another confirmation if you signed up for any overnights to show you when your next payments will be due. So I'm going to go back to our presentation and bring us back to our page here. So those overnight tours, again, it's that 10% deposit, and they're based on double occupancy. So roommates, let's go over that real quick. Traditionally, in a non-pandemic world, we would allow for random roommates, and we would do our best to pair you if you wanted a roommate. Again, on that form, there's going to be an option for you to check yes or no on a roommate. If you check yes, we would pair you with someone else who has also checked yes. However, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we will not pair roommates randomly. So if you are requesting a roommate, you must know the person that you are wanting to room with before we pair you. And if we see that as you're registering, we'll be reaching out to you directly to make sure that that all works. But we want to be sure that folks know each other. There will be no random pairing of roommates. Now, for anyone who is going to request a roommate, when you book an overnight tour, you're going to want to choose the single occupancy and then select that roommate option. The final payment for your tour will be modified if we do have a roommate for you, and our staff, this team, will be reaching out to you directly to go over anything on that tour. So then we could talk about cancellation policy. We want to be as flexible as possible during this pandemic. So for a day tour, you may cancel a day tour up to a week before we have the tour date, and that would be refundable. Any cancellations less than 1 week prior to that tour date is going to be non-refundable. You can cancel an overnight tour up until the registration deadline. That registration deadline is posted on each overnight tour. It's also in our brochure listed. That's typically 45 or more days before the start of that tour. And up until then, cancellation is fully refundable for any deposits that have been taken. On that registration deadline, though, is when we take your next deposit for the overnight tour. The remaining balance of your tour from what you paid from the deposit is split in two. We charge that first half on the registration deadline, and then we'll charge the second half just a couple days before we depart for the trip. So if you're going to cancel an overnight tour and you are a little close to the tour date, percentage of any monies that have been taken is refundable up until we're about 2 weeks before the date. Around that time, nothing is going to be refundable because we're too close to the tour, and reservations, accommodations, admissions, all of that has been booked for you. So you can find more about our cancellation policy, the registration policy, all of that's online. You're going to find that under group tours. I can also talk about waitlists a little bit with you. Because of the pandemic, each of our tours has a limited capacity. So because space is limited, it will automatically create a wait list. And so waitlists are a good thing. What this means is that if the tour is sold out, you get onto this list and you'll be notified if a space opens up. So if someone cancels the tour, or if we are able to add more spaces to the tour, you'll get a notification and you'll have about a 24-hour window to sign up before we open that up to the next person on the wait list. If we see a wait list gets large enough and we have enough people on there to run a second tour, we will look into that and we'll see if we are able to add an additional tour for those folks, and we would reach out to you directly to let you know of the new tour date, time, and price to get you registered for that. So waitlists, while it might be sad to not get on the tour that you want right away, they are still a good thing, and they help us plan out more tours if we need to, if they're really popular. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Kevin to talk more. I've been mentioning the pandemic here a little bit, but he can give you some more details on how we are going to keep everyone safe during the pandemic and when you're touring with us.
All righty, so you may think it's a whack-a-mole type of thing to have tours and overnights and such during a pandemic. If we wait, then I think all of 2021 will be gone, because this is not something you just set up the week before, the month before. So we did decide to go ahead and try at least to get something going, but we figured we could do it with regulations in mind for COVID. So what we've done is look at what the bus company for bus tours has said. what the state of Colorado, what the states we will be visiting on some of our overnight tours, and what the federal government have told us to do. So what this means is we have had to reduce our minimums to allow us to be able to run them, which is good in that it means we won't have to cancel them. Many of the tours that we designed for this year, both with the museum, senior centers, rec centers, all of the places that I work, had to be canceled because they just weren't built to accommodate those minimums. All of the tours and overnights that you're going to see are designed to be run even in COVID. So what that means is the bus company has been given regulations from the state on how many people they may have on a bus and the distances between folks on the bus. And so when we're on a bus, that will limit how many folks we may have on there. And I think it's 20 or 22, something like that. In-person tours, we may only have 10 people. And so that will determine what we may do if we're going to do a walking tour or one of our tours where we're going from building to building. It also means we're going to do a few more caravan tours this year, which totally stinks because I know some of you don't want to drive. We will work with you to try to figure out driving. If you wish to drive with a friend, it's the same as a single supplement type thing. We're not going to put you up with a stranger, but we will try to work with you to get these regulations fit so that we may still have a tour. So again, all of these are designed to go, even with COVID. All of the places that we are going, we have worked with them as well so that we know that we will meet their COVID regulations as well. So if it should say in the brochure, we're going to go to this observatory or we're going to go to this museum, we are also meeting their COVID regulations. So unless things get worse, all of these tours are going to run at least with COVID in mind. We might end up canceling them if no one signs up for them, but at least for COVID, we won't have to cancel any of these. So that's a good thing. There are some goods and bads to that. Obviously, for those of you who've toured with me before, some of these prices are going to be higher than what we would have done in the past. That is because in the past, we could tour with a minimum of 25 or 30 people. Now, when you have a minimum of 10 people in order to run a tour, spreading a bus cost between only 10 people is very different from spreading it between 30 people. So the costs are going to look different for those of you who've traveled with me before. Should COVID leave us alone? Should it shuffle off into the doom and gloom of the past? We will open the minimums, which means there may be some price changes in the future post-COVID, which would see the prices diminish, perhaps. That's something we're going to have to tackle on a case-by-case basis as it arrives. I certainly hope it arrives very soon. So all of this information right here, we're certainly welcome to send any of this to you, but we are following the recommendations laid out by all of these government entities around us. At least as of this moment, we are A-OK. It does mean you're going to have to wear a mask, even on a bus. When we're out and about, you'll have to wear your mask. When on a caravan tour, should you and your honey bunny or you and your friend be in the car by yourselves, that's fine. Don't wear a mask. But otherwise, for now, we're just going to continue with COVID-safe tours because otherwise we will lose another year. So I'd rather at least try to get out. So if you have any questions, again, at any point, just shoot them off to us. Kendall's going to write them down and we'll tackle those at the end. Okay, so that's safety with COVID. Now we're going to zoom on. So I'm an imaginative guy. I like to get creative. Some of you, like the Kempers I know, are always delighted to see what I've written. So I popped out the old thesaurus and I came up with some good things. So we're treasure box tours. We're getting you to X because X marks the spot. In this case, it's the treasure that's going to be your fun. So in order to classify things, we wanted to make it as easy as possible so it would not only fit your budget, but also allow you to fit just what you like. So our tour classifications are based on the wonderful money that you find in those treasure boxes. And of course, the littlest of all that you would find would be just a copper penny. So the copper pennies are going to be $30 to $75 in general. It's going to be our regular 5-hour bus tours. That's kind of a standard where you have a lunch on your own in the middle. Some of our smaller caravan tours, walking tours, day hikes and such, these things are generally going to have the meal on your own. And that's going to be the cheapest of them. The Silver Eagle is a step up there, $100 to $700. So these are going to be maybe larger bus tours, overnights, some of our specialty tours. I love any tour where I get to eat. Actually, I get to eat on almost all of the tours, but when the eating is part of the tour, it's even better because it's my second favorite thing. So if you'll notice down here, it says tastings and culinary tours. And some of those where it's all built in, where the tastings or the food are part of it, that will have a larger price because it's a larger tour. So copper and silver, and then we move on to the gold doubloons. Going to be 1,000 to 10,000. Now I know the $10,000 price tag there might just make the skin fall off your back. Yeehaw! But some of the tours, like the Rocky Mountaineer there in Canada, you're traveling gold leaf service. It's high end, the whole thing. And I did it last summer and it was 100% worth it. So we don't have a lot of the ones that are up in that range, but when you do see one on there, it's worth it. So this is where you have to crack out a little more money from your coin purse or your secret treasure chest. So our bigger tours like Montana, Idaho, the Coast Starlight, Canada, etc., those are going to be in the gold doubloon area. Now our Jade compass, that's when things get exotic. It's not a coin, but sometimes it's not just about money. It's about the exotic ooh la la. In this case, the Jade compass is our way of seeing the rest of the world. I had wanted to have more, but we decided to pare it down and just go with one for 2021. And I suppose that makes sense. So we're going to go to Canada. It's an easy fit. They take good care of us. The Rocky Mountaineer in Canada is also following COVID regulations. So this tour will be modified on the train to have adequate space between people. The various pieces will be COVID friendly. So that's our one and only Jade Compass offering this year. Inshallah, we will have more in the future. And I have decided to enslave some of the geniuses around me and put them in shackles on my treasure box ship. Okay, no, I didn't have to capture them. Andy Gulliford is a name some of you might know. For those of you who've traveled with me, we have traveled with Dr. Gulliford in the past. Great fellow, even with that gigantic mustache. So he has worked with us to brand his tours as Gulliford's Travels, which he came up with. Super cute. I love that book. Next year, we are doing 2 of them with him. He is an expert on everything in the West that you might possibly want to know, all the way from gold to sheep. And he's going to be getting out with us and sharing his wisdom. And then you have Andy sort of at the longtime professor part of life. And then you have Jack Wheeler, who's in his 20s, I believe it is. But he might as well be 100 years old on the inside with his little soul, because his soul is a train. So Jack is going to be starting an annual tradition of trains. We're going to start out in 2021 with just one in the United States. My hope down the line, if we survive, is that we will start doing some international trains. And Jack will be our iron horse. So we decided to continue with the metal theme, copper, silver, gold. And so we made Jack our iron horse. And then you have that little pinch of something more long, long ago, that gold dust, little pinch would get you something. So for us, a pinch is going to denote a partnership. As of now, we only have one. We may in the future have more. That is always a work in progress. So that's coming up. But those are the categories that you will see. Okay, so you will be able to download this entire brochure. It has been sent to you, I believe, already electronically. That being said, you may also order a printed copy. So you're going to have access to this. So don't worry about taking really extensive notes on any parts of this. All of it will be either on your computer for you to see or printed out for you to see. So let's start with our Copper Penny tours. All right, and we're just gonna come on along. So I have a long and rich history of focusing on streets. So next year we're gonna do one that's new, and we're gonna try out one that I've I have done a few years ago, and that is Broadway. So knowing that some of you may have already taken that tour, you may not want to go on it, but we're also hoping to get some new people to keep our sailing continuing. So Broadway would be one of those, and that's going to be just going to be from north to south on Broadway, exploring its wonders, including weird banks and wonderful Art Deco theaters. So that one will be by bus. You see the classification there, bus tour, easy, easy peasy Aunt Louise. Okay, and we continue. So bad boys and bawdy girls, everyone likes to talk about people being naughty. I mean, everyone loves it. So we're going to start out with everyone's favorite Epicurean, Alfred Packer, on that tour. And then we're just going to talk about inappropriate people acting inappropriately. So yeah, it's an unseemly tour, but I know at least two of you, I won't name names, are really not seemly. So it'll be just right for you, right? Right. Okay, so bad boys and bawdy girls of Denver. Okay, Denver Development. This one has come sort of as a request. A lot of people want to know what's going on out there. What's happening with these buildings? Why is this happening over here? What's happening to this neighborhood? Why is this being developed in this area? River Mile, I mean, all of these developments. So this is for those of you who are students of city development, city planners, architecture of the modern. So this is not really about the past, except maybe that I might mention something that was there before. But this is about what's happening now and about what's coming up in the future. It includes at least one cuss word. So just a warning on that. But this one's going to focus on how Denver is becoming all that in a bag of chips and what that means for its development. So Denver Development, easy. Okay, this is the one that is new, Federal Boulevard. I think, let's see, I think I've done 5 or 6 now already. So Federal is the next one on the map. Federal is one of those ones that doesn't really get a lot of attention. People don't think much about it, but you really would be surprised at how many things are on Federal. And this one's going to be that 5-hour drive, and there's way too much to see in 5 hours, but I'm going to blah, 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 and tell you all about it on Federal. You see Loretto Heights there, and an old sign for a bowling alley that's still there. Let's hope it sticks with us. So that's the Federal Phoenix. Okay, a little lingering in low-high. I can't stand that name, but that's what it's called, so that's what it is. A little lingering in low-high, and I hope you all get the joke of what the lingering is. Ha ha ha. So this is a historic district tour, basically. I try every year to do at least one historic district. What we now know as Low-High has 3 historic districts. Some of them are tiny, one of them is really long, but we're going to look at them as we explore this area that really was nothing on anyone's radar for a long time, but now is hot, super duper hot. So that's a walking tour. So that's a little lingering in Low-High. Roxborough hike and history. So this picture, oddly enough, that one is not from Roxborough. That picture is from Garden of the Gods. But don't worry, in the brochure, it has the correct picture. A lot of proofreading's been going on here in the last 2 weeks. You have no idea. Actually, I don't know, maybe some of you do. So this picture, don't be fooled. Even though it's the same formation, it is Roxborough. What we're going to do is meet at Roxborough. You will have to pay your own park entry. If you already have a parks pass, as I do, you'll be able to get in, no problem. But what we have set up with the park is an easy walk, probably the easiest walk that we may do. And we are going to have them talk to us about one of the old homestead sites on there. I try to do a state park each year. So this year will be Roxborough. Okay, Denver Urban Gardens. I did one of these 4 or 5 years ago and had a really good time. So it's time to look again at a different part of the city and a different set of urban gardens. It is, I think, a chance for you to learn how this is working, how they're transforming empty lots and people's forgotten backyards into productive space. And a lot of the time, it's just rented space for folks in the neighborhood who want to go and get dirt under their fingernails. So it's not a bad deal. So walking tour easy, it'll be a nice day. Okay, Fort Collins Main Street masterpiece. Now, for those of you who know Michael, you know that he did go to college up in Fort Collins. So this is a Michael child, and Michael's going to take you around and tell you all about downtown Fort Collins. It is a walking tour, so it's really just going to be in that triangular, don't know if I'm doing that. Yeah, I am. That triangular downtown there, where it all really got going after the original Fort Collins was destroyed in a flood. So easy walking tour. And we're already into June. Okay, so many of you probably know that Dr. Colorado, Tom Noel, has retired. So we have no tours. He's not doing tours with anyone anymore at all. So that includes with me. We are sad about that, but I'm sure his wife, Vi, is very happy. But we are going to turn it over to our own side of things, and we're going to go explore the G line. So that will take us from Union Station to Arvada. So it actually, the time on there, it has the correct time in the brochure, but it's the incorrect time here on this slide. It will be from 1 to 5 because we have to ride to and from Arvada. So we'll have about an hour ride on either side. We'll do a walking tour around Arvada, and it will be a fine day. And of course, we're going to stop at Rhinelanders. Why are you even asking that? Okay, so Arvada exploration. Harvard Gulch. This is a park in Denver that really doesn't get a lot of attention unless you live in this neighborhood. And the people in the neighborhood are a little ticked at the moment because people are discovering their neighborhood. And so folks are moving in. So it's a neighborhood in change. So we're going to talk about how the neighborhood is changing, the history of the Harvard Gulch area, Rosedale, etc. There's a tiny historic district. I mean, really tiny in this area, and we'll touch on that. But it'll be an easy day. There's really a lot more than you might think in the Harvard Gulch area. Okay, now this is something that is of interest to me. And because I like to eat, and I suspect all of you like to eat, I thought we could explore this together. We want to explore part of the farm to table movement. So we're going to go to Greeley. It's a caravan tour. Notice it says that there, which means you do have to drive. And from the places within Greeley, you do have to drive, which stinks. Should COVID go away, we will look into possibilities. But for now, it's a caravan tour. And that's just part of being in the COVID world. We are going to go to places where we learn how farm to table works. We'll have 2 places with a farm to table lunch in the middle. In this case, because it's a specific farm to table lunch, it will be included in the price. All of your tours and overnights will list what is and is not included. That'll be in the brochure. Greeley Farm to Table, yum, yum, yum. Okay, the way of the South Plat. So there's no way we're going to see the entire South Plat. It starts way up in the mountains and it goes all the way to Nebraska. So we're just not going to see it all. But what we're going to see is the part in town. So we're going to start from where it leaves Waterton Canyon, and we're going to go up toward the I-70 area in that environs, and we should be able to make it. This picture, if you look, that's down onto the confluence of the South Platte River and Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek is cut off right at the bottom, but that is the confluence there. And we're going to explore it, learn all about it. Some of it's pleasant, some of it not, but we're going to explore it anyway. So the way of the South Platte. Good gracious, we're into August already. Yeehaw. Okay, Washington Park. Everyone loves Washington Park. The Washington Park neighborhood is one of 2 neighborhoods in the city of Denver that has never suffered a decrease in its property values, and that is absolutely because of the park that is at the core. So we're going to do a tour of the park. There is a lot more history than you might think. We're going to talk about the ditch. We're going to talk about Eugene Field. We're going to talk about the beach that used to be there, the light rail, not light rail, streetcar. There's a lot going on, and I think 2 hours will be insufficient, but it's going to be beautiful. We're going to be right toward autumn. Now, one of the things that, I guess I'll mention that in a moment. Colorado Springs, Gold Medal City. I spent 10 years in Colorado Springs, high school and college, but this is actually one of Michael's tours because Michael did grow up in Falcon, which is a suburb of Colorado Springs. So Michael has written this walking tour and is going to guide you on this one in October. It'll be a great day. Nice and easy in downtown Colorado Springs. Okay, this is what I was thinking. Hey, there I am. Look at me. Anyway, so since I'm sailing under my own helm now, I am sort of jazzing up the reach of things. It won't be history focused necessarily. I've always been interested in maybe a few other things, and one of them definitely would be geology. So we're going to start with Treasure Box Tours, a new sort of direction, an annual tradition of exploring geology. We're going to start with Geology 101. That's the intro. So it is going to be some basics of front range geology from red rocks up to golden, and it's just the primer. I haven't done geology since I was in college. I remember a lot, but it'll be a primer for all of us. I'm going to brush up between now and next year, and there are going to be folks on board, I'm sure, who will be willing to sound off, but we're going to look at rocks and soil and all the good stuff there. So that's Geology 101. Maybe you'll join us long enough to become a doctorate in that. Also, there are lots of museums out there. So one of the pieces that we're going to repeat every year is we're going to pick a city or an area and we're going to go meet your museums. So in this case, we're going to Pueblo. Now you might be saying, oh, I've already done Rosemont. We are not going to Rosemont. We are going to some museums that I have never done before. You would think I had been to Colorado Fuel and Iron, but I have never actually done it. And we're going to go to 2 branches of the Firefighters Museum there. I wanted to go to the Wise Broad Museum, but there's just too many museums in Pueblo. So that's what we're going to do in Pueblo as we meet your museums. We are all the way to November now. Okay, we move into our Silver Eagle tours. We ramp up the cost, but we also ramp up the ooh la la of the tours. So they go together. So Brighton, I did a tour of Brighton in 2010. So in 11 years, it's changed a lot. I've been up, things are going nuts. Brighton is in part deliberately expanding and in part sort of involuntarily expanding. So we're going to go hear from the main Brighton historian, and she's going to give us a tour of Brighton past, present, and future, and talk a little bit about how growing pains are definitely hitting the city. You might not think Brighton has anything to share. Having done it in 2010, there's actually a lot more than you might think. So that's Brighton in April, I believe it is. Gastronomy 101. This is going to be another one which is going to march on into ever increasing degrees of difficulty, but also ever increasing degrees of delight. So Gastronomy 101, it's the basic. We're going to go eat. Now, here's the thing you do need to know about this one. I know that we're going to do it, and I know that we are going to go out and eat and such. I am not going to be choosing the restaurants until a little closer because right now, no restaurant is willing to say yes to me. They've all said to me, it's too far out. We literally don't know. A, will we be open? B, will we still be here? C, will we be willing to accommodate you? So we know we're doing it. We have places who have said, talk again in the spring. So I know we're going to go somewhere. I just don't know exactly where yet. So that's Gastronomy 101. All righty, Redstone Castle. Now, this one, I'm super excited. I have already stayed overnight at the Redstone since it was renovated. And it's amazing. I love the place. We are actually going to have the castle to ourselves. We've taken all 9 suites, I think it is. So the whole castle. So what we're going to do, it is a caravan tour, so you have to get out there, but we're going to meet. We're going to have the run of the castle. We're going to have our dinner at the Redstone Inn. We are going to come back, stay overnight here. On the morning, you'll have your breakfast on the veranda. That's included as part of the overnight, and you get a tour. So it really will be an amazing experience. For those of you who have not stayed at the Redstone, it's wonderful. I'm so glad that it has been preserved. The second day, we will also see one rose garden in Glenwood Springs. Now, here's the one thing I do need to tell you, just by way of being as honest as possible. The Redstone Castle is for sale. I think it's about $25 million. So right now they have said, yes, we're going to do this tour. And they say, we believe that the new owner will do the tour when they get a new owner. But Right now it's for sale and no one is buying. So down the line, there is a tiny chance that we may cancel it because the new owner decides to make it into a bowling alley. So I do want you to know that. Redstone Castle. Botanic Treasures of Fort Collins. I don't know what you did all year, but as my busy tour calendar evaporated, I spent all year from March until probably October rehabilitating my mother-in-law's yard, which looks amazing. I have a natural pair of green thumbs and it looks awesome, the yard. So I'm into green things, and so this is a tour for me. We are going to go look at the Botanic Treasures of Fort Collins. This will include the trial gardens for Plant Select. It will include the Botanic Gardens there. There are 2 other places that I'm trying to get us into, but they haven't said whether they will or won't. For COVID, they said, let's talk in the spring. As you see, the tour is at the end of July. So I know we're going to see at least one other place. I won't know what it is until we get a little closer to it, but it's going to be a botanic day, a green day in Fort Collins. All right, we continue. Okay, so the Wild Animal Sanctuary in Keensburg has bought land in southeastern Colorado, and they need it. They have way too many animals, so they are expanding there, and we are going to go have a tour of that facility. So they don't normally give tours, but we're getting a tour, and part of your cost for this tour, we are actually buying another acre of land for them, for their animals. So that is tacked in there. On the first day, we're going to go to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo and the raptor rescue in Pueblo. So Colorado Springs, Pueblo, and then we're going to go down to La Junta. We'll see the Wild Animal Sanctuary in southeastern Colorado. That'll be on our second day. So for those of you interested in how they are helping these animals, it'll definitely be the tour for you. And if you've enjoyed the Wild Animal Sanctuary in Keensburg, this is a great extension of that. All right, on we go. Okay. Now, I don't know if any of you know this song, Starry, Starry Night, paint your palette blue and gray. It's a song about Van Gogh. I sang it once. Anyway, so this is a tour because I am super interested in everything in the universe. I'm big into astronomy. When we did our Utah tour 2 or 3 years ago, we had an astronomy evening there in Moab. It was astonishing. So I'm totally hooked. So I am hoping every year we're going to be able to do something with astronomy. So this is going to be an overnight. The highlight of it, we are going to go to Westcliff, which is one of 3 dark skies designated cities in Colorado. It was the only one, but this year 2 more have been put in. So the Westcliff Observatory, they're ready for us, and that's going to be our evening. So just so you know, that evening of September 8th is going to be a late night. We won't even start the program until 9 or 9:30, but you want it to be dark. So it's kind of what it has to be. And on either side, we're going to go see other observatories. We're going to have an astronomer speak to us about how scientists are examining things out in the cosmos. So in 2 days, while you're only going to see one starry night, everything else is still going to be about the universe beyond our atmosphere. So it's going to be a great double day. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray, look out on a sunny day, something like that. It's been a long time. Denver's Liquid Treasures. Now, for those of you who know me, you know this is totally not a tour I initiated. Michael totally initiated this one because Michael, he is a connoisseur of the brews. One of his brothers actually is a beer person, delivers beer for a living. But here's the thing, Michael and I are going to design the tour. Michael's going to talk about the beers and the drinks and all those things at the front end, and I'm going to be talking more about the places and the history and the development. So between us, it's going to be great. So if any of you would like to learn what's going on in Denver's sudsy side, this is the tour you should join. We should call it Denver's sudsy side. I love it. Englewood Extravaganza. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know how many of you people work with historians. We are crazy. Not as crazy as trained people, but we are crazy. So I met a super nice I met electronically, I should say, a super nice historian from Englewood who wants to show us his city's history. And there is a lot. So we have a 6-hour tour here, and that is not enough time. We are going to go into the Scarrett House. That is the fellow who founded Englewood. And we're actually going to go in and get a special meal at a restaurant that's been in Englewood. I forget, it's 40 or 50 years. It's a long time. And the fact that they're going to have a special meal just for us is a pretty big deal. So there's just too much to talk about in Englewood, even in 6 hours, but we're going to pack it on in there and have a very good time. Okay, Gulliver's Travels. Look at that mustache. Good gracious. Good gracious. You could lose a I don't know, a smile in there. Oh no, wait, he's got a smile. All right, Gulliford, Andrew Gulliford, doctor. Let's go and talk about the 2 tours we're doing with him next year. All right, this is our first biggie of next year. We won't be doing any tours until March. We were going to do tours in January and February, but we decided it was just too soon for COVID, so we pushed everything back to March. This is going to be our first big dog. We're going to do this trip to Utah, focusing on national parks. So Dr. Gulliford has been to all these places. He's led tours there, etc. They are going to be appropriately difficult, so we're not going to do any death marches. My colleague Kendall, I know none of you know her, she was totally pushing for death marches. I don't know, I guess she's big into death marches, but I said, no, maybe next year, not our first year. Anyway, so we are going to see Capitol Reef, Zion, and Bryce with Dr. Gulliford, who has been to all of these many, many times. And in between, of course, Dr. Gulliford's going to pepper us with stories of this, that, and the other thing. And he's got lots to tell us. And we will be seeing a few other things. We're going to be going to the Glen Canyon Dam, the Code Talkers. They're in Kayenta. So we do have some places to touch on. We are going to be staying overnight in Moab. We are not doing an astronomy program in Moab because I had to work with Dr. Gulliford on when he could go. And the night that we're going to be in Moab is going to be almost a full moon. So it just doesn't work. So we're going to miss out on the astronomy that time. So even if you have been to Zion, Bryce, and Capitol Reef, you should consider going because Dr. Gulliford, he's been doing these places and leading tours there for decades. And I don't know, he just has a certain way. He puts it all together and it just is great. We're going to have little presentations. It's going to be a nice night, or a nice night, excuse me. It's going to be a nice week. So the Giants of Utah, our sister state. All right. All right, so let's continue on. I will have my flunky move on to the next slide. Thank you, flunky. Okay, this is one that we are doing that is our partnership. We are partnering with Centennial Canoe Adventures and Centennial Canoe Outfitters. So this is going to be one of the ones where you will be working with them, but we are getting Dr. Gulliford on it. So he's going to be the content person. Centennial Canoe Outfitters is actually going to do all of the stuff like your canoes and making your food and all that. So I've never actually been on one of these. I've always wanted to go. So this year I am going. So I am both trepidatious and excited. I'm going to learn how to canoe prior to going. So I hope nothing inauspicious will happen on the tour. It's a tiny tour, only 3 days because it's my first time doing it. And it's supposed to be really calm. I don't like fast moving water. I fell over a waterfall once and almost died. So calm. So this should be calm. So if any of you would like to try canoeing, this would be the tour for you. We'll have Andy, we'll have me. Good gracious, how do you lose? All right, so that one will be in August. Now we go on to Iron Horse Travels. Look at Jack. Doesn't he look happy? And we are only, as I said, doing one tour with him next year, but our hope is that we will be able to do more in the future. There are so many around the world that I would like to do, and Jack is game to do it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Jack and I caucused back and forth on this, and we are going to do the Coast Starlight. Now, although it goes all the way to Seattle, we are only going to do from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon. So what that will mean is we are going to meet in Los Angeles. You'll fly yourself in. We're going to meet in Los Angeles. We will board the train there. We will have a regular daytime train to San Francisco. In San Francisco, we will disembark. We will stay, I think it's 3 days in San Francisco. We're going to go to the wineries of the Napa Valley. We're going to have a day in San Francisco. When you get the brochure, you'll notice on there the San Francisco day that you have time that afternoon to do whatever you want. I am going to do what I always do when I go to San Francisco. It is a tradition. I'm going to walk across and back the Golden Gate Bridge. I do it every time. You are welcome to join me. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. We will also have a day where we'll spend some time in San Jose, which is our hotel location. We'll go to the Winchester Mystery Mansion. And then there, here's where it gets the overnight piece. We will overnight on the train. We will board the train again in San Jose. We will overnight on the train. Now, the accommodations are as luxurious as they get. You will have a double berth. We don't have any pictures of the double berth. I asked Jack for pictures and he had not taken pictures of the berth. So you'll have a room with a shower and a private bathroom, and you'll have 2 beds. They're not big side-by-side beds. It's one above and one below, but you will be sleeping horizontally on the train. We are not going to make you fall asleep sitting up on the train. Talk about hell on earth. No, thank you. And then the next day we'll get to Portland, and you might say, well, what are you going to do in Portland? Portland's pretty amazing. We will go to Salem to see the Capitol there. It's one of 2 capitals with a cutoff dome, so that'll be nice. And then we are going to go, because I thought it'd be nice, our final night, we're going to go out to the beach, and we're going to have a farewell dinner out at a city on the beach so that we may watch the sunset. And then after the sun has set, we'll head back into Portland. The next day, you'll be on your own, either to head home or to stay in the Portland or Pacific Northwest area. But along the way, Jack will be with us the whole time. He's going to tell us all about not only the Coast Starlight, but also about some of the trains we're going to be taking in the San Francisco area. And for those of you who haven't traveled with Jack, he knows a lot and very nice fellow. So that's the Coast Starlight. And again, our only Iron Horse tour for next year. So the Gold Doubloon tour, this is where we ramp it up to the top level. So years ago in 2013, I did lead a tour to eastern Nebraska for the Homestead Act, and I've done at least 1 or 2 states ever since. So Montana and Idaho, and this is a good one because we are going to be going to the place I find personally most beautiful in the entire United States, and I have been to every state. So I'm super excited to take you on this tour. If you look at the picture there, when we did the Western Nebraska, no, when we did the Wyoming tour a few years ago, we went up to the Crazy Horse site, and Michael and I are there climbing the sign for Montana. I don't know, I think I'd had too much Coke that day. You know, normally I'm a very calm person. Oh, wait, there's another picture of me not looking my best. Anyway, we're going to look at the bison, that river there on the far right-hand side. That is the Kootenai River. We're going to explore that area. It's absolutely breathtaking. And yes, you'll get to play with some snow. The reason I'm making that face there is because that snow is so cold, it is hurting my hand. But we're going to have a great time exploring. And yeah, you'll be happy you went as I continue, I should say, leading folks on tours to see our neighboring states. One day I hope to get you to all of them. Okay, so Montana, Idaho, that's in May, June, somewhere in there off the top of my head. Hold on. I can't remember all of a sudden. June, I think. Oh, wait, we're going to go back because I can't remember. I've been working with all these dates for so long, it's all just blurring in my mind. There we are, June. Thank you. Oh, and it's after my anniversary, so I'm okay. Okay, thank you. And then we skip forward to December. and that is where we go to Winter Diamonds. So we are going to stay at 3 fine hotels in downtown Denver: the Brown Palace Hotel, the Crawford Hotel, and the Hotel Teatro. And interspaced among them, we are going to explore everything elegant, refined, and beautiful for winter. It'll be a great way to get your holiday season off to a good start. I have done a tour like this before and I just loved it. I was surprised at how much I loved it. So this would be really to do something that you don't often do. How often do you get out to enjoy your own city? So winter diamonds, and diamonds is the superlative stone. So that really is the right thing. So just some pictures here. We will be eating things exactly like that, but don't worry, they're going to taste great. And our Jade compass, we only have one for next year, but it's a biggie. In July of next year, we're going to do Canadian treasures again. We are going to start with an addendum at the front end, and that will be to see the Calgary Stampede, which I did last year and loved it. It was so over the top and it was wonderful. And then ride the Rocky Mountaineer from there to Vancouver with many stops along the way. These are pictures, on the right is a picture that was taken on a previous tour. On the left is one that was sent to us by the folks at Rocky Mountaineer for us to use, basically. And as you see, we are going to have these view cars. Now, they won't be so close together unless COVID has left us behind. Should COVID have left us, then we're A-okay. Otherwise, we'll be distanced, one set of people to the next. Having done this tour, it's worth it, 100%. I have almost never been so stuffed in my entire life. A lot of food. So, Canadian treasures, well worth a go. We'll end up in Vancouver, see a few extra things. And then we have our personalized adventures. So this is something that we are bringing out this year. We're trotting out. I'm already doing for one couple. Basically, if you want to do it, you can tell us and we'll design it for you. And within it, there are kind of the four levels of oomph. So number one, we'll design it for you. We charge you for the amount of research time to design it. You still have to pay for all your own reservations and such. We just make the reservations for you. So that's level one. Level two is where you can have us go on the tour with you, I suppose. If you really wanted to have your own guide along on it, you could. Be a different price point, but you could have it along. So there is Kendall. Hi in the foreground, Kendall. Hi. So Kendall is there in maybe Utah, not 100% on that. And this is what we can do. You can say, hey, I want to go to X because we are getting you to X and we'll get you to X. So if you have ideas and you don't want to actually design it yourself, let us know and we'll design it for you. Sorry for the split infinitive there. All right, we continue. So personalized adventures. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything on that one. Treasure boxes. Okay, so we don't have our first tour until March. And I think we have maybe 2 or 3 March and April. And then we start with the bigger tours in May. So at this point, I'm going to hand you over to Kendall, who's going to talk about treasure boxes.
Hello, everyone. I know that for a lot of you, I am the new face here. So it's just nice to be able to kind of meet you. You can see my face at least. Yeah, so in addition to all of the awesome tours that we are planning for next year, in my completely unbiased opinion, we're also going to be continuing to release our treasure boxes. And a lot of you have gotten a taste of what those will be like with our fall boxes. We're releasing our holiday and kind of starting winter treasure box collection next Friday, which, yes, is Black Friday. And yes, does mean that there's going to be a Black Friday sale. So keep an eye on your emails for that. We'll be emailing. I will be. Hopefully none of you have gotten tired of hearing from me thus far. But I will be emailing you on Black Friday as soon as that that sale launches, but that sale will be on our new treasure boxes, even personalized adventures. You can get a 6-box subscription. But within the boxes that are going to be part of that sale, we're going to have a lights tour through Denver for the holidays going through December. We're also going to have a holiday lights tour in Colorado Springs. And then we're also doing this fun 12 days of Christmas over Denver, themed, of course, to the song, because, you know, we wanted to have as much fun with it as we could and make sure the song was just stuck in your head for the rest of the night. And then we're also going to have a winter, just a general winter, which you can do whenever, holiday season or after the holiday season. We're doing a mountain loop kind of across from Denver up to Breckenridge and then back, just taking people through some fun mountain towns. And that can be a great fit for anyone who's going skiing and snowboarding and looking for something to make the drive more fun, to people who are just wanting to get out for the day and explore the mountains a little bit in a different way. We're also releasing what we're calling kind of a seasonless treasure box, meaning that it's going to be available all year round, always, called Denver's Treasures, and we're focusing on the northeast side of Denver. So within that treasure box, we are going to be just exploring all of kind of the unique, interesting pieces of the north side of Denver, and keep an eye out as well with those seasonless tours for more of those, because we're hoping to cover all compass directions of this Denver area. And then we'll also release some in some other cities, some other big cities in Colorado coming up. So keep an eye out for that as well. Yeah, so that's what we have coming up for treasure boxes. Super exciting. That was a little bit of what Kevin was mentioning about proofing. We've been getting ready for this event and reading over all those tours. And I have to say that it was I had the most fun reading through the lights and the 12 Days of Christmas tours. It got me super excited for the holidays and ready to go out and see all of the lights. And then also while we're here, I will touch on the treasure map, which Kevin had mentioned earlier. That treasure map, for those who are interested in receiving it, you can go to our website under the group tours tab, which is where you purchase spots on our tours for next year. And there is a button in there where you can be directed to the PDF of our 2021 treasure map. Look, here's the cover. Isn't it so pretty? And you can download it there. You can print it out. You can have it, write on it, decide what you want to go on, what you don't, however you would like to do that. We'll also be, as Kevin was saying, emailing the treasure map to all of you right after this event. So you have a digital version as well, just right at your fingertips. So you don't even have to go to the website if you do not want to. If you would like a printed version of the treasure map, we will be mailing, for those of you who already entered your mailing address for us in registering, we will be mailing that treasure map here to you soon. It's printing now as we speak. So anyone else who would like that treasure map, or if you have friends who are interested and want to get a physical copy, just let us know. You can email, you can really email any of us, but I will be keeping track of all of the addresses for that from this event and kind of moving forward for any special requests. So you can email me directly as well at kendall@treasureboxtours.com. And that is KENDALL at treasureboxtours.com. And we'd be happy to mail you a physical copy, because as pretty as it looks on the computer, it's going to look even prettier in person. It's so exciting. Yes, now it's time to do the exciting part here, Kevin. It's time to announce the raffle winners, which all of you have been hearing about all the prizes as well, which yes, so it's so exciting. And Kevin, you're starting with the second prize winners, correct?
I am starting with the second prize winners. It's true.
All right.
We have lots of love to go around, but only so much love to go around in actual prizes. So we hope we get to you all.
Yes.
So we did randomize this. So basically we rolled some percentile dice, which for those of you who don't play D&D, you don't know what percentile dice are, but it's allows you to roll a random number between 1 and 100. So we rolled some dice and this is what we got. So All right, so we have 3 second place winners. So Carolyn M is one of our, I have my envelope here. Woo!
Yay,
Okay.
Carolyn.
Carolyn M is one of our gift card winners. And these are going to be, I think Michael's going to tell you how they're coming your way, or Kendall's going to be telling you how they're coming your way. And then, see, it's like the Academy Awards. And the winner is, for another second place, Devra S. And then,
Congrats to Devra.
yay. Tookie, hey, Tookie. Tookie, you got a
Congrats to
25. Yay. Tookie is the one who told me I needed to include the Alabates Flint Quarry in my touring. So thank you, Tookie. Okay, now we move on to our 2 first prize winners. And Kate H.
Congratulations, Kate.
Oh yeah, Kate. I know. Okay.
Oh.
Just having the last initial is throwing me for a loop, and now I know who that is. Okay, our other first prize winner is Joe W. I know who that is because there's only Joe with only a J-O.
Congrats,
And
Joe.
our grand prize raffle winner.
You're not getting a rifle.
Not giving out
You're not getting a rifle.
No. So Mary Beth F.
Congrats, Mary Beth F. You are the grand prize winner.
Yay. So these are going to be coming your way. Either Michael or Kendall, one of them, is going to be sending you that through the mail. Thank you for joining us tonight. So there's that. So moving forward from here, before we, oh, hey, look at that. There's a question and answer thing over here too. Okay, so there's a question, what an exciting evening. Yay! How many people are involved with you already? Does that mean how many staff members there are? There are only 3 of us. One day we are hoping to be a multi-million-dollar world-spanning megalomaniacal shadow government. But for now, we're just 3 folks. So as far as how many folks we have that we mail to and talk to, I don't know. I think we're about 100 or so, and that does come to one of the things I do need to ask of you. We are a new company. I've had my company for years, for 15 years, but now I'm trying to expand. And a lot of folks said, you are absolutely psychotic to be expanding in a pandemic. But the idea is the pandemic is going to go away, and then we're going to be here ready to go. Partially, and also partially, why wait? There are still ways to travel safely, even in the times of COVID. But the thing I don't have is I don't have a lot of people that know we're even here. So if any of you would be willing just to spread the word to one friend, that's really what we need. We need folks to know that we're here so that we may make our single sailing ship an armada. Because I like having more friends to travel with, and the more friends I can travel with, the more trips we can do. And once COVID's done, the more folks we'll be able to draw from to make these tours a go. So we are happy to print out as many brochures as you are willing to give away. Just spread the word, because we need the word spread. That's really all I can ask by way of my Christmas present, my Christmas wish, like from Sleepless in Seattle. So we are going to answer questions now in case any questions come up. On the tours where meals are on your own, is there a concern that restaurants may not be available? So that's a very salient question. So for each of our tours, we are going to do our pre-research on what your dining options are going to be. So what that means is we're going to choose an area that's going to have an adequate number of places for you to choose from, or we will take you to a supermarket where you may buy something to eat. Should there be nothing, should there be no food options at all, then in the end, we will have you bring a picnic lunch. So each one is just going to be, as it gets a little closer, we'll be able to advise you on what we've learned. But if you don't feed me, there are going to be gigantic problems because I totally get hangry. So don't worry, we are going to take care of the food you will all get to eat. Are you open to us posting on social media? For that, I'll hand it over to Kendall. Hi, Elaine.
Hello, Elaine. Thank you for that question. Absolutely. Yes. Please post all of the things on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Treasure Box Tours. So on Instagram, you would look for Treasure Box Tours, and Facebook, our link is Treasure Box Tours, but you could also Google Treasure Box Tours Facebook for that. Yeah. So any trips, any, any boxes that you get, even if you're just excited about what we're doing and want to share it out with your friends before you've even gone on anything with us, anything that's on our website, anything you see us sharing, please share. We're looking to get the word out as much as possible. Thank you very much for asking that.
All right. If you have any other questions, shout out. It's super easy to remember, Kevin at treasureboxtours.com. If you end up with questions after the fact, you may always write to me. I'll put my email address in here as well. It'll come in your brochure. So here's my phone number.
We're getting.
We do have a couple more questions. There's
Oh,
one
we
from
have a few more
Mark
questions. Did I miss
coming.
them?
There's one from Mark. It says, on the big tours, where is the starting point? Where do we drop off our cars?
Oh, that is a question we don't actually have answered yet. We are in works. So we are going to have a place, yes, but we don't have that place yet. Right now, everything is moving super slowly. Places are not responding quickly, so we will have an answer.
Yeah, and I just want to let you know, for anyone who is concerned about parking, the places that we're choosing, it would be within Denver, and we would provide directions for you. We're also looking to make sure that it is a secured and monitored lot, so that if you are on an overnight trip and you're gone for 8 days, you can rest assured that your vehicle is going to be safe. So we have some parameters ourselves that we're looking for the right parking spot, since we don't have our physical business right now. I also wanted to touch on Elaine's question with the meals, and just want to point out that in our brochure, whether that's downloaded online or mailed to you, for any overnight tour, we list out what meals are included in the tour package and what meals would be on your own. So I just wanted to let you know that, in case you were curious what meals we're actually going to cover for you. We're getting a few more questions.
Hi, Carolyn, one of our winners. When does registration open? I think it's open now.
Registration is open.
Yeah, we went live basically when we started our thing tonight. So I see some well wishes coming in. Thank you for that. It's a bit nerve-wracking. This has been a very I guess nerve-wracking, I'll repeat it, a very nerve-wracking few months, because I've never expanded a business in a pandemic.
It's a fun adventure to take on, and definitely something that I know the three of us are really excited about. It's really been a fun part to be a part of this team. So yeah, we have some uncertainty in the future, but we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great 2021. We won't let it be like 2020. I think everyone is agreeing on that.
I agree. It's going to be a very good year, and I'm optimistic that even with COVID on our doorstep, we're still going to have a lot of fun. Actually, I should say optimistic. We're going to have a blast. I miss seeing all my friends. So it's been a tough year not getting to see you and catch up. For those of you who I don't know, I've only ever met on my tours 2 people who were kind of sticks in the mud, and that's pretty good odds over the years. So I'm sure all of you I haven't met are going to turn out to be great. 2 sticks in the mud is enough.
We're gonna be great. That's gonna be wonderful.
And here we have 3 of us socially distanced, looking boldly into the future there. And that's actually how we're going to stand on all tours.
Yep.
Just so you know.
With our mask and all.
So go home. What am I saying? Go home. Go to bed. Go have a good night. Go for a walk, whatever it might be. We're here to answer questions. We're just going to watch and see if any questions do pop up. I am very quick to answer. If you shoot me an email or a phone call, we'll get you all set. And yeah, please do spread the word and join us for our Getting You to X with Treasure Box Tours. Cute little name. We're gonna have fun.
That'd be great.
I'm just gonna keep watching for questions. Here for a couple more minutes.
Yeah, we'll hang back for just a couple more minutes if there are any other questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We wish you that safe weekend. And again, registrations are open. So if you know what tours you are ready to sign up for, space is limited. Might be a good thing to sign up tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
We
and
did.
good night.
Good
I think
night.